going on, folks? It's your boy Tay Wiggs back at it again, about to get you situated on the games that happened last night and around the NBA playoffs. Before you do that, follow me on Twitter at TAE_WIGGS. That's Tay Wiggs. If you don't know, now you know. The game I want to get to talk about the game 5 of the Pacers and the Toronto Raptors. When I was watching that game last night, I thought the Pacers had that game wrapped up. Paul George had 39 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds. And I'm looking, all right, wow. They went on the road. They get taken care of business. Then you look up, Toronto inching and inching. Kyle Lowry still shooting terrible from the field. He was 3 from 11 last night with 14 points because he found his way to the free throw line. But DeMar DeRozan played really huge. He had 34 points. But back to the Pacers. The reason why they lost, Monte Ellis played 32 minutes last night, people. 32 minutes. With 8 points. He was 3 for 10 from the field. Monte Ellis, for some reason, still haven't found his groove. He only had one good game in this series. And that was game 2. So, George Hill been playing his part with his 15 points. Will Solomon did good towards the end. But when he shot that buzzer beater 3, the ball was on his fingertips. So, give them guys kudos for still playing hard like that, but at the same time, you should never give up a 19-point lead like that on the road and you let the team come back and beat you. And, one thing I do want to get into about the Toronto situation, how come every time I watch the game or any game, Drake has to stand up behind the player while they inbouncing the ball, want to be in their ears clapping. Now, if that was anybody else, that was Spike Lee, they would told Spike to sit down or he got tossed out or get a team a technical foul. I think me personally, I think Drake is getting a little bit out of hand with that, out of his pocket, because that's not even fair, man. Because if that was me doing that, I'm pretty much sure that an NBA player would tell me, hey, you got to escort him out. You got to get him out here. That's bad for our game. So, right, I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you have in your pocket. The Drakes, whatever. Sit down, man. Enjoy the game. We don't need you standing up clapping. That's what people go to your concerts for. If they want to stand up and clap, they go to your concert. But this is basketball, man. Sit down and enjoy the game like everybody else is. Back to the Toronto Raptors. Terrence Ross. Like I've been saying, we 5 games in the series, folks. And he still ain't been showed up yet. 3 points, 1 for 6, 17 minutes. Like I said, DeMar DeRozan had a monstrous game with 34 points, 5 rebounds. Monstrous. But I'm still baffled that Kyle Lowry on MVP put up 14 points, but he was 3 for 11. I know they got the win and all that, but the guy I want to give a round of applause to, he's not a household name, and people never heard of him. Norman Powell came deep off the bench. When I mean deep, I'm talking about the second before last seat before you go through the tunnel by the bench. This guy came off the bench with 10 points. First guy into the game and had a thunderous slam. And he stole the ball from Paul George. And that right there got the fire going for their bench. And their bench played very well. Corey Joseph was hitting threes. They all played well. But this is how the Pacers lost the game. They got outscored in the fourth quarter, 25-9. When you're scoring 9 points in a quarter, especially the fourth quarter, that's the do or die quarter. That's the moneymaker quarter. You cannot or can afford to score 9 points in a quarter and think you're going to win a game. You got to keep your feet on the gas pedal. Do not let up. As soon as you let up and hit the brake a little bit, the other team will start coming in, inching for more, start breaking your lead down. So like I said, Toronto had that fight, and they came back with that bite. Indiana had that bite, but they did play with the fight, but they ain't finished that bite all the way off. So right now, but this being said, who win games 5, 9 times out of 10, but it's 83% or 85%, whatever them numbers are. Who win game 5 pretty much wins the series. And right now, Toronto won game 5, and they might be the favorites to win the game 6 in Indiana. But me personally, all that clapping Drake was doing, And that's on film. So you know Indiana's watching it on film. I wouldn't be surprised if Indiana win these next 2 games. Yes, I said it. Indiana is winning the next 2 games. So that series is two. That series 3-2. Toronto heads back to Indiana for a pivotal game 6. I'm going with Indiana to win that game 6. I get Indiana to win that game by 10. Because I don't know if that guy Norman Powell can do the same thing, come off the bench and chip in 10 points and 3 steals. I don't see that happening again. The second game I want to get into is the Boston Celtics Atlanta Hawks. The Boston Celtics started off pretty hot. They started off pretty hot and fast too. But the key thing was that Isaiah Thomas played 29 minutes, but he had 7 points. He was 3 from 12 due to the ankle injury. Jay Crowder had 10 points. He was 4 from 11, still having a terrible shooting day. Marcus Smart still doing what he's supposed to, and Evan Turner and them guys stepping up. They're not getting points where they need them from, like from Kelly Olynyk and R.J. Hunter was in the game. I can go on and on. Jaren Sullinger, well, he had like 7 points. And Jaren Sullinger only been in double figures once in this series, and like I said, he been absent in this series, and you can't have the same guys trying to carry the team every night. You got to get something different from everybody when they're on the floor, because it make the game that much easier for your teammates. And when Isaiah Thomas wasn't going, missing a lot of layups and the shots that he normally hit on the regular, you know, every dog gets his day. You know, you're not gonna hit everything that you make or throw up, because shooters gonna shoot. That's one thing I know about basketball. If you're a shooter, you're gonna keep shooting till you at least make the ball. And the crazy thing is, I always say you play these many minutes, you don't go to the hole. But Isaiah Thomas is going to the hole and taking this normal 12 to 15 foot range jumper. So he was missing shots that he normally made. So, and they got outscored in the third quarter, 23 to 42. So the third and fourth quarter pretty much predicts if you're going to win a game or not. And when you lose in quarters like that by that type of margin, it's going to be hard trying to come back and win. And when you already know your spirits is down low and you losing like that. And, man, my hats goes off to Kent Bazemore. I keep telling you guys he an X factor. 16 points. He was 4 from 8 from the field, man, from the three-point line. Dude was playing out of his mind. Out of his mind. Then you have Paul Millsap. Even though he scored 45 points in game 4, but he come back and scored 10. And I'm still disappointed in Al Horford. It's your power forward center. Playing huge minutes, but he had about 36 minutes again. Dude had 6 points and he was 2 for 11. Al Horford, please get off the 3-point line. Let the other guys do that. Let Jeff Teague and Mike Scott and them do that. You get in the paint. You beat them where the team is weak at. Beat them in the paint. Stop being a jump shooter. We're not paying you big bucks to shoot threes. They are paying you big bucks to grab rebounds and play inside, now outside. That's not your game. Get in the paint. I do want to give a shout out to Mike Scott. 17 points and 5 rebounds off the bench. He making it look so easy doing it. Mike Scott playing it. He played his tail off. That's 2 games now he has came off the bench and has contributed more than 12 points. So you definitely got to give him a round of applause. One person I do want to give a shout in to, or a shout out, I'm going to say shout in like I always do, is Dennis Schroeder. Dude, you are getting some of the dumbest and stupidest and craziest technical fouls. One thing you don't want to do is to get a technical foul on the road while the home team is down, because that's adding fuel to the fire. Do not play with fire, young man. Don't do it. Because when you strike a fire, that fire will spread. So be careful how you get no technical fouls, man. You will hurt your team deep in the playoffs like that. So do not do that. I got Boston and the Hawks. So this game is going back to Beantown, and I'm going with the Hawks to close the Celtics out. Yes, I said it. It's been a good ride for the Boston Celtics this year. I'm going with the Atlanta Hawks to win Game 6 in Beantown. With that being said, we got 3 key games that come on tonight. We got two games that come on tonight that are both tied at two games apiece, and we got one game a team is winning the series 3 games to 1. The first game is at 8 o'clock. Hornets versus the Heat. This is gonna be a tough one. If the Hornets or the Heat, whichever one of these teams win Game 5, that's who's gonna win the series. I'm gonna pick the Charlotte Hornets tonight to win Game 5 in Miami. I'm looking for Jeremy Lin to have another big game. I'm looking for what's name to have an even bigger game, Kemba Walker. And I need Marvin Williams to step up to have a nice game as well. With that being said, I'm picking the Hornets to win that one at 8 o'clock. Then I get the Trailblazers and the Los Angeles Clippers. That game come on at 10 o'clock. And I'm picking, that's going to be tough because you have no Blake Griffin or no Chris Paul. They both out due to injuries. Chris Paul with the broken hand, and Blake Griffin with the quad again. I'm picking the Trailblazers to win Game 5. I'm looking forward to Damian Lillard to have another 30-ball game, and CJ McCollum to have 21 points, and Mason Plumlee to have another huge game on the rebounds as well. Like I said, I'm picking the Trailblazers to win Game 5. Rockets and Warriors. I know this game has no Steph Curry, and this game has no James Harden defense. So with that being said, I'm going with the no defense James Harden to win this Game 5. I'm looking for the Rockets to win this Game 5. So if they win this and go back to Houston, man, that's going to be tough right there. So I'm looking for the Rockets. I got Rockets, Trailblazers, and Hornets. And that, you know what's so funny about that? All those are road teams I picked. So I'm going with the road teams on that one. So till next time, NFL Draft, my Browns got the 8th pick. I don't know who your guys' teams is. But till next time, you already know, do your thing. Follow your boy, Tay Wiggs, at TAE_WIGGS. Peace.